Hi everyone, today we'll discuss the topic polygon clipping. First let's see what is clipping. Clipping is a procedure that identifies the portion of an image is either inside or outside of a specified region. This specified region we'll say as clipping window. We could design our clipping window in any size, any shape and in any orientation, right? The portion of the image that is inside the clipping window will be seen in your output. Now we know one of the feature of a polygon is it should have a closed loop. It should have a closed loop. Now we will be using Sutherland, Hutchman clipping algorithm to clip a polygon. If we take this algorithm, in this algorithm, we have to send a pair of vertices through a series of clippers. The four clippers will be having left clipper, right, bottom and top. This clippers is nothing but left clipper means left side of my left boundary of my clipping window. Right clipper is right boundary of my clipping window, bottom clipper is bottom boundary of my clipping window and top is top boundary of my clipping window, right? And in this algorithm we have four cases. Case 1, right, this is my clipping window, right? The edge, as I said, this algorithm sends a pair of vertices through a series of clippers. So I have a pair of vertices, right, and the starting vertex is outside the clipping window and ending vertex is inside the clipping window. In this case, my output list of vertices will have the intersection point and the end point. Right now I have to name this intersection point. How to name this intersection point? Starting vertex name dash. Starting vertex name dash. So save v1 dash v2 in case 1. So what is case 1? Starting vertex is outside the clipping window and ending vertex is inside the clipping window. In this case I have to save my intersection point and the end vertex. Save v1 dash and v2. How to name the intersection point? Starting vertex name dash. Starting vertex name is v1, so it should be v1 dash. Now case 2. I have a clipping window. Both the vertices are inside my clipping window. In this case, save the end vertex alone. End vertex is v2. Now case 3. Clipping window, right? Starting vertex is inside the clipping window and ending vertex is outside the clipping window. In this case, I have to save the intersection point alone. That is save. So how to name the intersection point? It is starting vertex name dash. So it should be v1 dash. Next, case 4. Case 4. Both the vertices are outside the clipping window. In this case, save nothing. Right? Now we have studied these 4 cases. We'll use these cases to solve a given problem. So I have a polygon. I have a polygon. This polygon I have to clip. I have to clip this polygon. Right? As you know, this polygon, it should pass through 4 clippers. Right? So first I'll take my left clipper. Left clipper is nothing but my left boundary clipping. Right? So first take edge, first edge V1, V2, right? So V1, V2, right? So consider the left boundary alone. Consider the left boundary alone, right? And you have to check whether both the vertices is inside to left boundary or outside. So when you consider the left boundary, take this vertex 1. Vertex 1 is inside left boundary. How I can say inside left boundary? Extend this left boundary, right? So V1 is inside left boundary. So V2 is outside, right? So which is my case? Inside, outside. That is nothing but case 3. In case 3, what should I do? I have to save the intersection point alone. I have to save the intersection point. So how to name this intersection point? Vertex 1 dash, right? So save intersection point. Now you know this vertex 1 is the very first vertex of this given polygon. So I cannot miss this very first vertex. So I'll save the first vertex, right? So I have to save V1 dash. Next edge V2, V3, right? Now we are dealing with left boundary clipping, right? So V3 is inside left boundary and V2 is outside the left boundary. In this edge V2, V3, which is the starting vertex? V2 is the starting vertex, V3 is the ending vertex. And if you see this, starting vertex is outside and ending vertex is inside. Starting vertex outside, ending vertex inside. Belongs to case 1. In case 1, what I have to do? I have to find the intersection point, right? And I have to save the intersection point and the end point. So now how to name this intersection point? Starting vertex dash. Here for this edge, starting vertex is V2. So it should be V2 dash V3. So it is V2 dash V3. Now the next edge is V3, V4. Edge V3, V4. Consider this left boundary. To this left boundary, both the vertex V3 and V4 are inside, right? V3 and V side are inside to left boundary. So both are inside. Both are inside. In this case, I have to save the n vertex alone. So which is the n vertex? Save V4. Next edge V4, V5. V4, V5. Again, both the vertices are inside to my left boundary. So I have to save V5. Next edge V5, V1. V5, V1. Again, both the vertex are inside to my left boundary. So I have to save the end point. So end point is V1. Right? Now I have considered all the cases, all the edges. Now seeing this, I have to draw my output for left boundary clipping. So V1, V1 dash, V1, V1 dash. Next is V2 dash, V3, V4, V5, V1. Right? This is the output for my left boundary clipping. Now keeping this polygon, I have to do right boundary clipping. Right boundary clipping. Right? Now here, which is this first edge V1, V1 dash. edge v1 v1 dash, right? v1 v1 dash. Now we are doing right boundary clipping, right? Now I have to check whether both the vertex, right, are inside to my right boundary or outside to my right boundary, right? So when I extend this, right, v1 is inside to my right boundary and v1 dash is also inside to my right boundary. Actually this belongs to case 2, right? Case 2, I have to save my n vertex. Among this edge, which is the n vertex, v1 dash. But this v1 is the very first vertex. I cannot miss it. So I will be saving v1 also, right? Next edge to be is v1 dash, v2 dash, v1 dash, v2 dash. I have to consider this edge, v1 dash, v2 dash, right? To consider this right boundary, consider this right boundary. To this right boundary, right, both this edge, vertex v1 dash and v2 dash are inside, right? So which one I have to save? I have to save the n vertex, which is v2 dash. Next, edge v3 v4, right? v3 v4, v1 v1 dash, v1 dash, v2 dash, sorry, it is v2 dash, v2 dash, v3, v2 dash, v3, right? So again in this case both the vertex are inside to my right boundary, so I have to save my n vertex, which is v3, right? Next edges, edge v4 v5, right? v4 v2 dash, v3, v3 v4, again v3 v4, both the vertex are inside to my right boundary, so I have to save my n vertex. N vertex is v4, so I will save v4. Next edges v4 v5, edge v4 v5, right? v4 v5, again both the vertex are inside to my right boundary, so I have to save my n vertex, which is v5. Next it is edge v5 v1, v5 v1, again both the vertex are inside to my right boundary, so I have to save my n vertex, which is v1, right? Now keeping this, I have to draw the output, right, for my right boundary clipping. So take first vertex, it should be v1 v1 dash, v1 v1 dash. Next it is v2 dash, v3 v4 v5 v1, right? And now this polygon will be the input for my bottom boundary clipping, right? Bottom boundary clipping. So it is bottom boundary clipping. To this bottom boundary clipping, I have to consider this polygon. So what will be my first edge? v1 v1 dash. So edge v1 v1 dash, v1 v1 dash. Now this is my clipper bottom boundary, and now check whether both the edges are inside to my bottom boundary or outside of my bottom boundary, right? Both the edges are outside of my bottom boundary. So what I have to do, if both the vertex are outside of my bottom boundary, I should not save anything. So here it is save nothing. I'll tell once again. Now we are doing bottom boundary clipping, right? I have taken the first edge v1 v1 dash. What I have to do, I have to check whether both the vertices are inside to my bottom boundary or outside to my bottom boundary. This area is inside to my bottom boundary. This is outside of my bottom boundary. So both the vertices are outside of my bottom boundary. So what should I do? I should not save anything, right? What is the next edge? V1 dash, V2 dash, right? Edge V1 dash, V2 dash, V1 dash, V2 dash. Again, if you check, V1 dash is outside bottom boundary and V2 dash is inside bottom boundary. So it belongs to which case? Outside, outside and inside, right? Starting vertex is outside and ending vertex is inside. In this case, what should I do? I have to find the intersection point. I have to find the intersection point. I have to save the intersection point and the end point. Now I have to name this intersection point. How will I name this intersection point? Starting vertex dash. And which is my starting vertex? V1 dash. V1 dash is my starting vertex. So to name this intersection point, it is starting vertex dash. So it becomes double dash. Now I have to save V1 double dash, V2 dash. Save V1 double dash, V2 dash, right? Now the next edge is V2 dash, right? V3. V2 dash, edge V2 dash, V3, right? V2 dash, V3. Now both this vertex are inside to my bottom boundary, right? So I have to save the end point, end vertex, that is save V3. Next edge is edge V3, V4. Edge V3, V4. Edge V3, V4. Again, both these vertices are inside to my bottom boundary, right? This is my bottom boundary. Both are inside to my bottom boundary. If both are inside to my bottom boundary, I have to save the end vertex. So save V4. Next edge is V4, V5. Edge V4, V5. Again, here also both the vertex are inside to my bottom boundary. So I have to save the end vertex, which is V5. Next edge is V5, V1. Edge V5, V1, right? So again here, this starting vertex, for this edge, starting vertex is V5 and ending vertex is V1. Starting vertex is inside and ending vertex is outside. Starting vertex inside, ending vertex outside. So what I have to save? I have to save the intersection point, right? Now I have to find the intersection point, right? This is my intersection point. Now how to name this intersection point? Starting vertex dash. So it is save V5 dash. Now seeing this, I have to draw the output for my bottom boundary clipping. I have drawn. First it is V1 double dash, V1 double dash, V2, right? Next V3, V4, V5, V5 dash. Now keeping this as my output, I have to do top boundary clipping, right? Top boundary clipping, right? So in top boundary clipping, what should be my first edge? V1 double dash, V2 dash. Edge V1 double dash, V2 dash, right? Now coming to this V1 double dash, V2 dash, this is my top boundary. This region is outside of my top boundary and this region is inside of my top boundary, right? Now both the vertices are inside of my top boundary. So if both the vertices are inside of my top boundary, what should I do? I have to save the end vertex, right? I have to save the end vertex. Save, which is my end vertex? V2 v2 dash. But here this v1 double dash is the very first vertex, right? Very first vertex. So I cannot miss that. So I should say that also, right? And the next vertex is v2 dash v3, right? Sorry, next edge v2 dash v3, v2 dash v3. Now you know this region is inside of my top boundary, this region is outside of my top boundary. Again both the vertices are inside of my top boundary. So what should I do? I have to save my n vertex. Save my n vertex, right? So n vertexes, save v3, right? Next edge is v3 v4, edge v3 v4, right? v3 v4. Again if you see this vertex is inside of my top boundary, this is outside of my top boundary, right? So inside outside, right? If it is inside outside, I have to find this intersection point, right? So how to name this intersection point? In this edge which is the starting vertex v3, so v3 dash. Always intersection point is starting vertex dash, right? And here starting vertex is inside and ending vertex is outside, so I have to save the intersection point alone, right? So save v3 dash, right? Next edges v4 v5, edge v4 v5, v4 v5, right? v4 v5. Again here starting vertex is outside, ending vertex is inside. Starting vertex is outside, ending vertex is inside. Outside, inside. What should I save? Save the intersection point and end point, right? So here I have to calculate the intersection point. So in this edge which is the starting vertex v4, so intersection point will be v4 dash. What should I save? v4 dash v5, right? Save v4 dash v5, right? And what is the last edge? v5 dash, right? Edge v5 dash, right? v5 dash. Again both the vertices are inside to my top boundary, so what should I save? I should save the n vertex alone. So save v5 dash, right? Now the last edge is v5 dash v1 double dash, edge v5 dash v1 double dash. Coming to this two vertices, right? Both the vertices are inside to my top boundary. This region is inside top boundary, this is outside of my top boundary. Again, so both these vertices are inside of my top boundary. So what should I save? Save the end vertex alone. Save v1 double dash. Now keeping these vertices, I have to draw my output, right? v1 double dash, v2 dash, v3 dash. Next is v4 dash, v5. Next is v5 dash and v1 double dash. Now this is my clipped polygon, right? Thank you.